Elias Thorne had grown accustomed to loneliness. At 61 years old, he lived in a small homestead on the edge of the Colorado Plateau, a place where the desert stretched wide and the stars painted a canvas so endless it made him feel both insignificant and comforted. After retiring from a career in aerospace engineering, he had chosen solitude over the crowded hum of the city. His days were filled with tending a modest garden, maintaining his off-grid solar panels, and keeping meticulous notes about the night sky in a battered leather journal. It was on one of those nights, late summer, when the crickets sang in endless rhythm, that Elias saw it. A streak of white fire cut across the horizon, brighter than any meteor he had charted before. It split the atmosphere with such force that his bones rattled. But instead of vanishing, the light grew larger, descending in a silent arc until it vanished beyond a ridge no more than 2 miles away. Elias knew it was no ordinary rock from space. His instincts, sharpened from decades working on classified propulsion systems, whispered, "Craft." He took his old pickup along the dirt trail that wound into the plateau, headlights bouncing against red stone spires. When he arrived at the ridge, the smell hit him first. Ozone, like the aftermath of lightning, mixed with something metallic. In the clearing below sat a vessel, sleek and curved like liquid silver frozen in motion. Steam hissed from its seams as though the desert itself resisted its landing. But what captured Elias's breath were the figures stumbling out. 2 girls, no older than 20 by appearance, dressed in garments of strange iridescent fabric that shimmered between colors with every movement. Their eyes glowed faintly, not with reflected light but with their own inner luminescence. They looked frightened. Elias raised both hands slowly, as one might approach a skittish animal. "You're not hurt, are you?" he asked, his voice softer than he thought possible. The taller of the 2 studied him with cautious intensity before replying in accented English, halting but clear. "We need shelter. Safe place." Against every warning his rational mind screamed. Elias nodded. "Then you'd better come with me." The ride back was quiet, except for the occasional hiss of static from the strange wristband one of the girls fiddled with. They exchanged quick phrases in a language Elias didn't recognize, harsh yet melodic, full of trills and guttural stops. He caught only fragments. Urgency, fear, and something about hunters. When they reached his cabin, Elias gave them water and blankets. They drank cautiously, as if unused to the taste, and stared at the wood-paneled walls as though they were artifacts from a forgotten age. "My name's Elias," he said, kneeling by the hearth he had just stoked. "What should I call you?" The taller girl pressed her palm to her chest. "Lysera." She gestured to the other. "And this is Kaylin." Kaylin, smaller and quieter, offered a shy nod. Her eyes shimmered brighter in the firelight, like molten gold. Elias didn't press them for details that first night. He remembered what fear felt like, how it narrowed the world to survival. Instead, he offered kindness, food from his pantry, a place to sleep, and silence where questions might have been. Yet as he lay awake in his own bed, listening to their muffled voices through the wall, he couldn't deny the gnawing wonder. Why had they come here? And who were the hunters they feared? Days passed, and the girls adapted quickly. Lysera proved curious, asking Elias endless questions about Earth's customs, electricity, and why humans built homes separate from the land instead of inside it. Kaylin was gentler, drawn to Elias's garden where she touched each sprout as though it were a fragile treasure. Despite their alien strangeness, they radiated warmth. Elias felt his loneliness thinning, replaced by a sense of guardianship he hadn't felt since raising his daughter decades ago. One evening, as the 3 of them watched the sunset bleed across the plateau, Elias finally asked, Why me? Why come to a stranger's house when you could have gone anywhere? Lysera hesitated before answering. Your heart. We sensed it. Kindness. Rare among species who hunt the stars. Elias chuckled bitterly. I don't know about that. Humans can be cruel when it suits them. Kaylin spoke then, her voice like wind through reeds. So can we. Her words lingered, heavy with implication. It was the third week when the truth began to unravel. Elias had gone outside at night to chart the stars, only to see Lysera and Kaylin in the clearing behind his cabin. They weren't aware he was watching. Their forms shimmered, silhouettes bending against the starlight. Then, with an almost liquid ripple, their bodies elongated, arms spreading into vast wings of translucent scale, torsos shifting into sinew and muscle, jaws stretching into tapered maws that glowed from within. They weren't girls. They were dragons. Elias's breath caught, loud enough that Kaylin turned, her golden eyes locking onto him even from across the clearing. The illusion collapsed, their forms shrinking back into human guise as they approached. You weren't meant to see this yet, Lysera said, her voice edged with regret. Elias steadied himself against the porch rail. Dragons. My God, they weren't just myths, were they? Not myths, Kaylin replied. Exiles. And so they told him. Their species, the Draken, had once ruled a cluster of stars beyond human charts, their true forms vast and radiant. But power bred conflict, and factions turned upon one another. Lysera and Kaylin were heirs to a fallen house, hunted across galaxies by rival clans who sought their extinction. The craft that had brought them here was damaged, and Earth had been chosen not by strategy but by desperation. We thought humans would fear us, Lysera admitted. But you gave shelter without knowing what we are. That is rare, even among the stars. Elias tried to laugh, but it came out thin. I don't know whether to feel honored or terrified. Both, Kaylin said softly. Both are true. Trouble found them sooner than expected. It began with a hum, a deep vibration that rolled across the plateau like thunder with no storm. Elias stepped outside to see lights descending from the sky. 3 angular ships, darker than night itself, their surfaces bristling with jagged protrusions. Lysera's face hardened. Hunters! Kaylin grabbed Elias's arm, urging him inside. They will not spare you if they learn you helped us. But Elias pulled free. I won't hide while they come for you. The ships landed in a semicircle around the cabin, engines scorching the earth. From them emerged figures clad in black armor, their helmets shaped like beasts of prey. Weapons hummed in their hands, radiating lethal promise. A voice boomed through an amplifier. Surrender the fugitives, or burn with them. Elias felt fear clawing at his ribs, yet something deeper rose within him. Fury, protective and fierce. These girls, dragons or not, had trusted him. He would not betray that trust. He stepped forward, planting himself between the soldiers and his home. You want them. You'll have to go through me. The lead hunter raised his weapon, unimpressed. But before he could fire, the ground shook. A roar split the night, primal and deafening. Lysera and Kaylin no longer hid their true selves. They surged upward in a cascade of light, wings unfurling like banners of living flame. Scales shimmered with colors beyond human spectrum, their eyes burning suns.